All right, so it's like a lot of days before Christmas right now, and in order to be super preemptive, I am making my family's Christmas presents, and I figured I'd videotape it because this is what we do. So this year we're doing a homemade Christmas, and obviously for me that means one thing: y'all are getting liquor. So I'll just walk you through a little bit the choices that I made and what we're gonna do, and give you a little look-see at the process. So first of all, Costco brand base is by far the best. I think it was like $15 for each of these. You get 2.5 like full bottles out of them. So the first one I'm going to start with is my mom's, and she is getting a she is getting a caramel apple, salted caramel apple vodka this year. So in order to do that, we're going to use our Kirkland vodka. I am going to use these no sugar added uh, green apple slices, basically dried green apples, and then the caramel sauce. Now you can also use like caramel candies if you want to make your own like caramel vodka at work or at home. You probably don't make these things at work, but you can literally just like take caramel candies and like pop them in the top of this thing and shake it up, and they'll all dissolve, and then it'll do all the work for you. But I chose this guy so that I could control the amount of caramel a little bit better, and sort of get that instant feedback. And it's also already sort of a liquid, so I thought it'd go a little faster. So in order to do that, I am going to put these in the food processor, blend them up into a powder. Once they're a powder, I will put them in these tea bags that I have just sitting around the house. You probably don't have those just sitting around the house. So you can either order bags like these online, or you can get cheesecloth and like put your stuff in there and wrap it up. Or you can just drop everything in there and then run it through cheesecloth and coffee filters at the end to filter all the little bits out. Or you can just drop it all in there and drink it chunky, but I don't really recommend that. So let's get started. And I'm using a bunch of apples because I want this to infuse really quickly, even though I have a lot of time and I started this project a long time before Christmas. Alright, well, I think I broke my food processor, but whatever. In that case, we'll do a little old school. So this is kind of where I'm trying to get it, but I can live with it being a little less, a little bit bigger, but that's a little too big. So let's do this. There you go. Wow. I don't think that's gonna do shit. Now these are all too soft. Alright. Well, we'll just work with what we got. That'll have to be as small as it gets. Alright. So we'll do one more, and I think that should be enough. on the apple front. And if you're asking yourself, Megan, why are you using dried stuff? The primary reason is because, so when I use fresh apple, right, it's already got a bunch of liquid in it. So when you share it, or when you infuse it, it's going to sort of trade. So the apple will soak up a bunch of alcohol, but it'll also, all that water that's in there already is going to go into my alcohol, so that it's going to water it down a little bit. And that's just one less little bit of control that I've got over the final flavor. So I really like with these guys, it's concentrated all the apple flavor. I don't have to worry about any liquid, and even though it sucks up a little bit of vodka or whatever you're infusing it into, it doesn't proof down my alcohol at all. So get these out of the way, and those out of the way. Oh, look at those bad boys. Big old jars for infusing. So these will definitely hold more than 2 bottles worth. So this is what we'll do our actual infusing into. I'm not going to worry too much about sort of balancing the infusion between like, oh, is there enough in these two? Because I'm going to mix everything all together before I put it into, before I make my final flavor adjustments. So here we go. I'm also not going to fill it all the way because I don't really need any leftovers. And these guys hold more than a 750 milliliter bottle. Work with me. All right. Trash. All right. Glug, 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 glug. God damn, these hold a lot. Appley all ready. I am also, here we'll do, I lied. There's no reason to keep these even, but I'm also a little compulsive, so it's hard to not put the same amount in both. Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these extra apple shit. Yes, I did. All right, so I'm gonna put these in here. That is our apple flavor. I'm gonna wait to do the caramel until later. That'll be something that I add at the end and kind of decide the sweetness level and the caramel versus apple thing right before I bottle it. But these guys need to infuse overnight, so I'm gonna leave them. I am gonna put, right, it's a caramel apple. As a general rule of thumb, I put a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of ginger into everything I do, because those are flavor enhancers, so that you can just, it's not something that you can like pin down where you're like, ah yes, this has vanilla in it, now I know the secret. Or it's not like, oh man, this is gingery. It's just something that you're like, oh wow, this has so much more flavor than I expected. And that is because of the vanilla and the ginger. So I just put 1 little scoop of each. I'm going to put that in each of these. There we go. And I'm also going to wait until the end to put a little bit of salt in it too, and see how I feel about that decision before I put it in the whole thing. There we go. there, there. And just like that. So that's what this one is going to look like overnight. And then tomorrow I will add the caramel and add the salt and finish that bad boy up. So that is Caramel Has Fallen for my mom for Christmas. So thank you. Let's try another one. All right, so it is time for part 2 where we finish everything. So we are going to go ahead and start with Tammy's, my mother's, salted caramel apple liqueur. So we're just going to gently squeeze this bad boy and get all that vodka goodness out of these apples. Here, I'll show you. They're pretty wet. Sometimes when I use the whole fruits, if they're still firm, I'll hold on to them and use them for something fun. But these guys are a little weird, so I'm not gonna try to do that. So we're just gonna squeeze the vodka out here. I'll do it over here so you can see. Squeeze the vodka out. And then normally when I do sugar, I just drop it in the jar and shake it up. But because I'm using a caramel sauce in this one, I don't think that's gonna cut it. At least not as quickly as I'm hoping to kind of move this along. I don't have time to sit there and shake all day. So, and then our last baggie where we put our ginger and our vanilla and something else. I think we put something else in this one. It's been a day for me, okay? I don't remember. So, and there's our last baggie, much more empty than the other two. And these two I'm gonna have to do separately because I can only fit so much in my blender. So that's where we're at. That's what's going on. I just here, hang on. Yeah, you can see a little more. That's a little there. All right, so I'm just gonna pour this bad boy in there. You know, I might be able to do them both at the same time. Very appley. I think we can do them both. Let's try. Let's try. Now, obviously, when I'm doing this professionally, a little more tasteful about it. I'm not back there like squeezing bags, but this is for family. Who cares? It's fine. Besides, it's all liquor. Ugh. I'll be gentle. Okay. All right, so there's my 2 jars. Let's go ahead and set those aside. We will not be using them again. Now, I'm a little concerned about overwhelming this with the caramel sauce, so we're gonna add kind of slowly and taste as we go. These are gonna be gentle pulses, right? No, that's too much. We're gonna get our jars back and we're gonna take some of this out because that's not gonna work. Okay. Like half a jar. That's how much I have left. Okay. Let's try that again. All right. We'll just do it in 2. Now I know. All right. It is no longer trying to escape, so we are just going to Ooh, that caramel made a little frothy. All right, let's try. This is weird. This is like vodka foam. All right, still plenty of apple. So let's add some more caramel. I'm basically adding caramel until just below it overwhelms the apple. That's my goal right here. Okay. It's a mess. It's a mess. I'm a disaster. As you can see, there are perils when using liquids, so we're just gonna pour a bunch of that in there. And I'm just gonna have to taste it all. No measurements. No measuring. Measuring is for squares. That's so weird. I'm gonna have to let this rest for forever before I... Okay. Noticeably caramel. I think we're gonna end up putting this whole thing in there. Because this bad boy I just used like that much in that one, so I think we will be safe to just put it all in. So that's what I'm gonna do. I also wanted a little bit of salt, so it's a salted caramel, and also generally salt makes everything a little bit tastier. So again, just like the vanilla, just like the ginger, it like activates your tongue. All right, and then I'm gonna put all of it into this bad boy so that we can mix it and blend it, and then I'll bottle from there. And it'll be super easy. That will also give it a little time to defroth, because I do not want to bottle it frothy, then it'll have all the space. Yeah, we'll just play it safe. A little bit of salt. Okay, I'm vibing with it. A little bit salty, a little bit sweet. feeling it. Let's see. Let's get a second opinion. Okay. All right, so post-production notes on the salted caramel apple vodka. It separates, as you can see, and we're thinking that that's the blended caramel froth that's separating. So maybe if I had more time, I think I might have done it with the candies and just let it shake in and sit instead of blending with the caramel sauce. Also the salt, a little less salt than what you saw me put in. That was a bit much. Work your way up. It's a normal rule of making everything, and I just throw it to the wind, and that's what I get. So this is just shy of too salty. I still like it, it's still good, but it does have a little more than I think I would have put in if I'd known what I was doing. But yeah, at the end of the day, I really like it, and this is Temperature Has Fallen, the salted caramel apple vodka. Temperature has fallen. All right, let's do some more.